Welcome to Wrestling with Snipes. Today, we'll be taking a look back at AEW Dynamite for January 22nd, 2024. And Dynamite kicks off with Tony Schiavone in the ring and introducing Will Ospreay. Following Will Ospreay comes the cleaner, Kenny Omega. Ospreay says, "Thanks for joining me. I'm glad you're not dead. Oh my." Ospreay says, "I've been trying to help out against Moxley, but I just can't get away from the Don Callis family. I can't do it on my own." So Ospreay says, "I know you don't like me and I don't like you." Then Omega grabs the mic from Tony Schiavone. Omega says, "Stop. If you're going to ask for my help, no chance, bruv." Then they get in each other's faces. Ospreay calls Omega a prick. Then comes the Don Callis. Callis is about to speak, then Kenny Omega chases him away and he's attacked by Takeshita and Fletcher. Ospreay then leaves the ring, runs and helps to even up the odds. Ospreay and Fletcher trade right hands, then all four men battle out to the crowd. Cage and Archer then come out to help the Don Callis family. They battle out to where all the merchandise is being sold. Archer is about to chokeslam Ospreay through a table, but Kenny attacks Archer from behind. Then Ospreay and Omega suplex Archer through the table. Then the other men battle out to the crowd. Omega starts to climb the lightning truss while Ospreay climbs to the second level, and both men hit dueling moonsaults on the Don Callis family. Oh my. Omega then makes a challenge for Grand Slam Australia. Omega and Ospreay versus Fletcher and Takeshita, and Don Callis looks shook. Then the first match of the evening is for the World Tag Team Championships as the champions Private Party defend against the Hurt Syndicate. The match starts off with a big clothesline on Zay. Lashley and Benjamin are then knocked to the outside, and Private Party go for dueling suicide dives, but they are caught and hit with dueling belly-to-belly overhead throws. Lashley then slams Cassidy through the announce table as we go to commercial break. We come back from break and we see Zay still laid out by the announce table. Shelton tosses Cassidy over his back, smashing into the canvas. Then Cassidy hits a enziguri and Zay somehow is up on the apron and he makes the tag. We see a 450 splash, but Lashley makes the save. All four men are battling in the ring and Benjamin hits a German suplex followed by a second German. Lashley then hits the spear. 1, 2, 3. Just like that, we have new World Tag Team Champions, the Hurt Syndicate. Then we see Renee in the back with Toni Storm. Toni says she's excited and nervous about Grand Slam Australia. Toni says there's a reason. Then Harley Cameron approaches Toni. Toni says, "We're both Australia. There's no reason you shouldn't wrestle in Australia too." Toni then says, "Harley, I'll see you in Australia." And Harley says, "I'll see you in Australia, Toni." Next comes the last outlaw, Double J, Jeff Jarrett. Jarrett says a Tennessee legend, Jerry the King Lawler, once told him to never lower himself and get into the gutter with his opponent. MJF, you're gonna find out who the last outlaw is sooner or later. I'm gonna take you out to the woodshed and beat your ass. But enough of that one-hit wonder. I want to talk to you guys. You gave me the juice to enter the Owen Cup last year and I almost won. Jeff is gonna win the Owen Cup this year, isn't he, and get a title shot. Jarrett then calls out Mox, but he turns around and Claudio hits him with an uppercut. Claudio says nobody gets to John Moxley without going through me. Claudio then leaves through the crowd, but Jarrett says, "Turn around when I'm talking to you, Claudio." Jarrett challenges Claudio to a match next week, and if he wins, he gets a title shot at Mox. Claudio responds with, "I'll see you next week." Next, we have a one-on-one match with Swerve Strickland against AR Fox. This one didn't last too long. Swerve hits a moonsault to the outside on Fox. Back in the ring, Swerve hits 3 neck breakers. Then Ricochet pops up out of nowhere and swings his scissors at Swerve, but Swerve ducks and he misses. Prince Nana pops out with a lead and chases Ricochet to the back. Then we go back to the ring and Swerve hits a flatliner followed by a house call kick. Swerve then heads to the top and hits the Swerve Stomp. 1, 2, 3. Swerve Strickland picks up the dub. Then we see on the Tron Ricochet holding a pair of scissors up to Prince Nana's throat and says, I could gut you like a fish right now if I wanted to, but I need you to tell Swerve it might be his house, but there's a new landlord in town. Swerve leaves the ring and runs to the back as we fade to commercial. Then out comes Maxwell, Jacob Friedman, MJF. There's some ham and egger in the ring and MJF tells him to get out of his ring and he exits. MJF says, Jeff Jarrett, after last week you owe me an apology. Jeff, you are gonna find out sometimes you were better off making a deal with the devil than defying him. Then MJF is interrupted by Adam Hangman Page. Hangman gets in MJF's face and tells him to get the hell out of the ring and MJF obliges. Then we see Hangman squash the ham and egger with a lariat for a 3 count. Hangman Adam Page wins and after the match he hits the Angel's wings on the ham and egger. Then Daniels comes out on the ramp as Page runs up and gets in his face. Daniels says, my doctor has advised me to never wrestle ever again, so you win. You won the last match that I will ever wrestle. Daniels says, I'm sorry and I hope you can be happy now. Page looks perplexed as Daniels walks away. Then we go to the back and we see Renee with Mercedes Monae. Before Monae can say much, Harley Cameron approaches with a guitar. In song form, Harley challenges Monae for the TBS Championship at Grand Slam. Monae says, you've never even won a match on AEW TV, so that's a hard no. Then Monae walks away as Renee says, great song. In other action, we see Jamie Hayter one-on-one with Julia Hart. They battle to the outside before the bell rings. Hayter throws Hart into the barricade. Then we go back into the ring and Hayter hits a missile drop kick. Hart then reverses Hayter and hits a crucifix bomb for a 2 count. Julia then picks up Hayter, but Hayter escapes and hits a heat breaker, followed by the Haterade. 1, 2, 3. Jamie Hayter picks up the dub. Then it was time for the main event of the evening as Cope goes one-on-one with Pac. Edge hits a Hurricanrana, sending Pac to the outside of the ring. Then Cope hits a Casadora, slamming Pac's face into the steel steps. Cope then tosses Pac into the barricade. We come back from break and Pac hits a snap suplex followed by a missile dropkick from the top rope. Then he picks up Edge and gets hit with an Impaler DDT for a 2 count. Edge looks like he's going to pick up Pac, but Pac then locks in the Brutalizer, but Cope gets up with Pac on his back and slams him into the mat. Cope then hits 2 spears, followed by a Mark Marrow TKO maneuver. 1, 2, 3. Cope picks up the victory in the main event on Dynamite. Then on the Tron, we see the Death Riders attacking FTR and the Rock and Roll Express. Cash Wheeler is tied up in a chair and then Claudio hits a concerto on Ricky Morton. Then the Death Riders leave the area and head to the ring and surround the ring with Cope in the middle. They then beat down the Rated R Superstar and out comes Jay White. But as soon as Jay gets in the ring, he gets a beat down as well. They take down Jay White and Mox puts on a choke on Cope, choking him unconscious to end Dynamite.